So, good morning and welcome back. And as you may be able to deduce from my appearance, it is extremely early in the morning. And I'm on my way to get the car, pack it up, although it's half packed anyway, and drive back to France. So, these are our big summer holidays. Here to France, and then from France to Italy, and then Italy back to Austria. Not quite sure how long we're going to stay in France, basically until it's ready and rented. So hopefully have a couple of days off there as well, and then get on and do some stuff in Italy as well. So let's get going. Okay, well, we just got in. It's coming up on 8, and it's just rained here. We had a pretty good drive, but ran into a couple of thunderstorms right towards the end, and torrential rain. But other than that, it wasn't bad. It's just a very, very long way. House is still here. Nothing's changed much. No real problems. Around here in the garden, as you can see, the brambles are trying to come back, but a little chop with a lawnmower will get rid of those very quickly. I still have all of this to tidy up. But out at the back end of the garden, it looks pretty good. It looks kind of grassy. So yeah, much better than it was. Once the rain leaves off, I can mow that as well. Make some piles of wood and what have you. But most of the concentration for the next couple of days will be inside, getting that painted, floored, and presentable. Out here is going to have to be a nice to have. So there we go. Here we are. It's nice to be here. It's a long way out. And now it's going to be a matter of getting everything sorted and organised for the next couple of days, so that we don't waste any time. There we go. Madame is busy pushing things around, but all is good. All is good. Okay, well, good morning. Day one. Here we are. It's a bit miserable out actually, but that's good because it's not hot. So first things first, as always, it's now shortly after 8 o'clock. It is the 15th of July, so it is a bank holiday, but contrary to contrary rather to Austria, everything in France and in Italy is open, in fact, on most bank holidays. So we'll be heading down to the DIY store, to Brico Dépôt now, to pick up the last couple of little bits of plasterboard. I'll show you where they're going. And then as soon as I get back, I'm going to start screwing and mixing, so that it can set, because I think I'm going to have to go over some bits twice. It won't have to be absolutely perfect, but I think once it's painted, many years ago I used to think you had to make plasterboard absolutely perfect, like when I did upstairs here, and it took me forever in sanding and what have you, and these days I've worked out that if you go over it very quickly afterwards with a hand sander and then paint it white, you'd be hard pushed to notice the difference. So that was an Italy learning. Anyway, I'll show you inside and then we'll get going. But in fact, while we're out here, if you remember the laurel trees that were up above the height of the house that I cut down the other time, look how they've come back. Everything just keeps growing and growing here. It's like the Garden of Eden with a lot more work. It is going to rain on Saturday, actually, apparently all day. So I might burn all of this on Saturday. That might be a great plan, is to take it down to the other end of the garden and have a big bonfire. Because if it rains, they can't really say much, can they? So we'll see about that. So as you remember from last time, it's that little patch bit there and that. So that's not a big deal. And then a piece in here. And I'm going to have to level up the edge of this ceiling, but that shouldn't be too hard either. I'm going to put a wooden bar down and then we'll fill out. So that'll be fine. And everything else is still looking great. So it'll be a fair amount of plaster where I put the expanded foam in. That's just created like a back for me to plaster up against. So that's good. Yeah, everything's so far so good. Okay, well, as always, just popping to the supermarket and to the DIY store takes up most of the morning. But I've discovered these, which are quarter panels. So they're sort of chamfered on both sides. They're quite a lot more expensive than full panels, but they're still pretty useful for what I need to do, and they just pop in the back of the car, so that made my life easier. So as I said this morning, I'm now just going to measure and cut up here, over here, and over in the other room behind me, and then I'm going to mix up my first bucket of muck and get going. Okay, well, a slight change of plan. I've just opened up this beam. I'm going to try and get that last bit straight. Unfortunately, they seem to have offset at some point down there, so I do need to pull a little bit more of that tile back. But that one's then hung, so if I start mucking about with that, I'm going to lose the whole thing, and it's quite far back, so I don't really want to do that. So it's going to be a wiggly line, but I'm going to leave that one beam exposed, and I'll build a box up to it. I've got some wood and some of the metal frame, so that this will be a squared line down. The bolt will still be apparent, as will this. I'm going to trim this one back a little bit as well, so that it's just like you'll see the cutout for the staircase. Everything else has gone swimmingly, so it's just this to get sorted. It's been complicated. It's something I've actually been sort of thinking about how to do it best for many years. And in fact, I was going to take out the whole ceiling and put a ceiling in between the beams, but I'm not going to do that now. So yeah, let's build our box. Okay, well, as you can see, I've made a mess today. None of it's beautiful, but it will fill up. I've just backfilled with some foam some of the bits where there were larger gaps. But basically, we've now boxed in, not very squarely, but as squarely as the ceiling would allow, this this beam. And everywhere else is pretty good. So that means tomorrow morning I'm ready to start plastering here. I have 2 bits to put up here, which I'm going to do right now, and then I'm going to knock off, I think. So I'm just burning. These are the laurel trees that I cut down at the back. So I'm going to barbecue those tonight. Got some bits of chicken and what have you. The sun did eventually come out and immediately becomes warm, so got some mowing to do before the kids can play properly out back, although I put the zip line back up. Let's go for a look. So it hasn't stopped them from playing, they're just relaxing now because they need to wind down a little bit as the evening wears on. But yeah, compared to what it was those few weeks ago when I first came here, you see, just cutting off the bottom of these has killed them completely. It's a shame about all the blackberries up there. There's some up there. This one isn't dead yet. And this, which the kids have been at every couple of minutes. Oh, looks like it's already peaked. There's still quite a lot of red on there, so it might go again if it gets hot over the next couple of days. But yeah, anyway, there's always plenty to do around here. Sometimes it's the little things, you know. We've had a lovely dinner, glass of wine, kids are in bed, it's warm, it's quiet. Could be worse. Okay, well, it's already pretty warm. It's about 10 o'clock now. I just spent a little while mowing the grass, and I thought I'd show you this because if you remember what this looked like in May, June, July, August, which is only 3 months ago, and this is only the third time I've been out here, it's quite a substantial change. Check this out. And it looks almost like a garden, doesn't it? Sort of flat and some grass. Obviously over there still needs a little bit more work, and where the trampoline was I still haven't managed to chop that out. I need to chop up all of these bits of wood and get rid of them. But this bit, small victories, is looking fabulous. So yeah, a lot more to do, but it shows that it can be done, and it won't take too long. So there we go. The kids can now play football. I think we'll probably end up setting up their pool again for the next couple of days because it's going to get hot. And now I'm going to go inside and do some plastering, and then I guess mornings and evenings I'll do some gardening, get the hedge trimmed in, and mow the grass and make it look more presentable, because I think that'll be one of the big things to then renting it out, is that people see, what the garden could be, because at the moment it just looks like a huge amount of work. But there we go. I need to get rid of that little tree there. This one obviously I'm going to keep. I actually planted that from a little tiny sapling that I brought back from Finland when I went in the middle of winter in a Land Rover. That tree's okay. Obviously all of the trees inside the trampoline need to go. The little hut, well, I don't know. The structure isn't on the whole too bad. In fact, it's the same as the terrace was on the other side. There where I've used proper wood and painted it, it's fine. Where I haven't painted it and used cheap wood, it's not. So it's sunk into the ground a bit because it's only on feet. I think once it's cut out, we'll have a look. The people who rent might want to just pop a new floor in and use it if they have kids. We'll see. So there we go. That's where we are today. Not bad, not bad. Okay, well, as you can see, we're definitely getting there. I think it's not perfect, but with a coat of white paint everywhere, this room will look a million times different. that corner was a bit of a pain. This long stretch here was a big pain, but it's not too bad. Now I've got a lot of this fiddly stuff to do here. So yeah, well, not much for it, just keep cracking on, I guess. Okay, well, the worst bits will have to be done again, like over here where there are big holes. And I haven't put anything in there yet. I'm going to leave a little bit down here, and as it gets harder and more like Play-Doh, and I'll squash it in there as the first layer of that, because the hole's too big, it just keeps plopping out. And over here I've done some screws and a band, but I'm basically now almost out of paper for the joints, so I'm going to have to go again to yet another DIY store. But it's progress, it's good progress. We're getting closer and closer to having this downstairs area ready for painting. In fact, there really isn't much missing, but the stairwell is going to be the big pain. But there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to borrow a ladder and get on with it. I will need paper for it though. That's masking tape, so that doesn't work, unfortunately. Yeah, basically, yeah. It's not fabulous, but it's not terrible, and I think all painted up, it'll be fine without too much additional work. Obviously, I will touch up here and there where it's absolutely necessary, and then a cupboard in here, like 2 slidey doors, finish the floor, and we're done. Okay, well, I'm done with plastering for the day. My shoulders are showing it. So as a wind down, I've been cutting more brambles out. And in here, you see this metal structure. There was a beautiful, beautiful rose bush. There's like a stone surround at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. I'll probably manage to cut it complete free tomorrow. But I can't tell. I imagine that this is the rose here. Oops, let's focus. And everything else are brambles. There's plenty of blueberries, but an oak tree as well, which needs to go. I'm sort of pulling the tree clear a little bit. There's a whole load of blueberries up in that tree as well. But slowly but surely, it's starting to look more like a garden. The kids' pool is back out. Kids have been in it most of the afternoon, and all of this then needs to be piled up and either burnt or carted away or shredded. Oh. So there we go. I'm going to go and start thinking about having an aperitif now. So I've managed to clear this corner as well, more or less, and get the lean-to sort of back in accessibility, but only sort of. Yeah, so I'm going to let this all kind of sag overnight, and tomorrow maybe go over it again with the lawnmower. We'll see. Okay, well, as you can see, it's drying quite nicely. Looks a million times better, and almost ready for paint. Certainly ready for paint over on this bit over here. We've still got a little bit more to do, but pretty good. The wall too. So then it's now up here, and this hallway ceiling bit there. It's going to be a pain, but I think it'll work in the end. And there we go. Okay, well, that's going to be it for today's video. This was day 2. Yes, day 2. So yeah, lots doing. I think tomorrow will be very similar to today, which will be plastering and then gardening. But we'll see how the weather does. We're invited out to a party tomorrow evening, so that'll be nice. But other than that, yeah, it's just going to be keeping going, keeping the momentum up. And that shouldn't be too bad. I've advertised it again. 5 quite interesting, very different people, from a retired couple down to a young family. So we'll just have to wait and see what comes out of that. But I think once it's painted, when people come and visit, they'll be able to imagine themselves living here much better, I think. So there we go. That's it. Thank you all very much once again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coffee. Thanks for support. Thanks for comments. Thanks for all of this. My best greetings from here, the southwest of France. I hope you're well. Take care. Bye-bye for now.